Fans are furious about The Voice's new schedule shift since they did not receive what they were hoping for. Longtime viewers are familiar with the show's schedule and how it operates. Unfortunately, there were some issues because things did not proceed as anticipated. For further information, continue reading. After the auditions, the singers on The Voice have to go through rounds. They must fight, defeat, and more. Since the show's debut in 2011, things have been this way, and the formula hasn't really changed. The coaches can see what they have and the teams are better shaped as a result. Reba McEntire, John Legend, Chance the Rapper, and Dan plus Shay, the first coaching duo, are the coaches for season 25. The coach's ability to cycle and go in and out is believed to be the most intriguing aspect of the show, but it's also the talent. However, many were surprised by a change in the show's schedule this week. They also didn't like it at all. Fans had anticipated that the knockout round would air this week, according to monsters and critics. They will have to wait another week to witness their demise. So regrettably, that did not occur. A highlight clip of the current season's blind auditions and battle rounds was shown to them. Viewers expressed their contempt for this, which did not go down well. The knockout rounds could have been streamed for those who wished to see it, according to fans, given The Voice is streamable. Sadly, those who were unaware that it was not new were ecstatic, and they could not see the need in watching a rerun. Many were disappointed after sending out tweets in anticipation of the impending knockout round. It is hoped that NBC and production will take note of the fan messages and refrain from doing this in the future. Rerun episodes will be more thrilling than recaps though, assuming they decide to air them. Any interruption feels personal when a television program gets ingrained in a viewer's weekly routine. And that's precisely what's going on with The Voice at the moment. NBC's abrupt announcement of a change in scheduling has caused a great deal of uncertainty, fan arguments, and social media criticism that the network obviously did not expect. Networks don't usually make these small adjustments during holidays or other special occasions. This is a disruption strong enough to trigger protests from devoted viewers, some of whom have been watching consistently for more than 10 years. The outrage is loud, unified, and unrelenting throughout Facebook groups, Reddit discussions, and official Voice comment sections. Supporters are calling for clarification, consistency, and in certain situations, a complete overturn of the ruling. This is a thorough examination of what transpired, the reasons for the fans' outrage, and the implications of this surprising development for the franchise's future. The declaration that caused pandemonium using a quick social media video and a press release in the middle of the afternoon. NBC quietly made the announcement. For the rest of the season, The Voice would be moving its regularly planned episodes to a new time slot and broadcast schedule. The Voice used to follow a routine: blind auditions, battles, or playoffs on Mondays, followed by results or performance rounds on Tuesdays. It was expected, steady. It arranged living rooms, watch parties, and viewers' routines. However, the network now declared an earlier time slot on Monday, no episodes on Tuesdays, Wednesday episodes that are longer, occasionally occurring Thursday bonus shows. Fans had become accustomed to a natural watching flow that was abruptly disturbed by this patchwork schedule after 14 years. NBC used a competitive primetime landscape, programming needs, and viewer engagement strategies to defend the decision. Fans didn't believe it, not even a tiny bit. Fan reaction: "Why are you doing this?" Social media exploded within minutes of the announcement. The trending hashtags on X, previously Twitter, demanded answers. Facebook fan groups conducted surveys to determine the number of viewers who would miss midweek shows. Creators made fun of the new schedule on TikTok by making jokes about fans losing track of episodes. The loud and repeated statements made by the audience summed up as follows: they didn't want change. They made no request for change. They were unable to comprehend the shift. An unpredictable schedule feels like a betrayal to loyal viewers, particularly those who treat The Voice like a sporting event. It was called messy, unnecessary, or a desperate ratings move by some. The new schedule conflicted with nighttime habits, according to parents who watched with their children on Mondays and Tuesdays. In music classrooms, teachers reported using Tuesday episodes as discussion topics. Others noted that older viewers who depend on regular scheduling become confused when episodes are changed in the middle of the season. Viewers from other countries, who watch via streaming services and online videos, are now seeing even more delays and irregularities, so the outcry wasn't limited to American viewers. All of this increased annoyance to levels that NBC obviously understated. The unspoken reasons behind the change. Television experts say the true reasons are more nuanced, despite NBC's official statement portraying the change as a strategic choice. 1. Competition from other important occasions. NBC is vying for nighttime supremacy with a schedule crowded with scripted dramas, sports broadcasts, awards shows, and Christmas specials. The network gains flexibility by moving The Voice around, but viewer loyalty suffers as a result. 2. Pressure from ratings. The Voice is still a powerful performer, but it doesn't bring in as much money as it did when Blake Shelton and Adam Levine were hosts. To increase engagement, NBC might be experimenting with new time slots. 3. Trying new things before season 29. One of the most significant structural changes to the show will occur in the forthcoming season of Battle of Champions. This modification in scheduling could be a trial run for more significant adjustments in the near future. 4. The influence of streaming. It's possible that NBC is relying more on Peacock views than traditional cable ratings, which means that set TV schedules are no longer their top priority. Fan annoyance is not lessened by these covert motivations. Viewers perceive the shift as more chaotic than strategic. Viewers struggle with the change. It's too hard to follow now. Anger isn't even the main grievance. Confusion is the cause. The Voice has always been a competitive event that moves quickly. Fans risk falling behind if they miss even one episode. New participants are introduced one night. The playoffs arrive one more night. An unexpected artist comes to the rescue. The judge is a thief. Removal. Returns. The schedule was crucial because of this. The Monday-Tuesday formula was trusted by the fans. They are currently coping with Wednesday performance nights that begin earlier on Mondays lead to episodes that seem out of place. Unexpected Thursday, deals that show up without prior notice before they missed one. Several viewers were unaware that episodes had altered. When others tuned in during the previous time slot, they discovered reruns or whole different shows. This loss of continuity is a serious issue for a reality program that relies on momentum. The emotional bond between the audience and the show is severed. It stops you from binge watching. For newbies, it provides an unneeded barrier to entry. And NBC is hearing it from fans. How the coaches responded, or didn't. NBC made a corporate declaration. The actual coaches? Quiet. Fans have extra questions because none of the coaches for this season have made any public comments, at least not right away. Many wondered if the coaches were dissatisfied with the change because of the silence. Did they also been caught off guard? Is NBC withholding more significant news? Longtime supporters noticed that former coaches like Blake Shelton, Kelly Clarkson, and John Legend frequently remarked on timetable modifications, which led to particularly heated speculation. No one said anything this time. The backlash was only intensified by that silence, where the complaints were loudest. The TikTok explosion. Voice fans, particularly younger viewers who analyze performances, make mashups, and argue over their favorite contestants, have naturally gravitated for TikTok. Comedy rants, live stream arguments, and countdown videos acclimating to the new times were all sparked by the scheduling change. Theories pertaining to network motivations. Videos from previous seasons that contrast the schedule of the good old days. Even calendars that contrast what this week was supposed to look like versus what NBC changed were created by several TikTok creators. The network was criticized by others of disrupting the season's rhythm. The frustration was well captured in one popular video. I have a job, I have kids, I have a life. Tell me when The Voice is on, please. In just 2 days, the video received over 300,000 likes. NBC definitely took note. Could this have long-term negative effects on the show? On this issue, television pundits disagree. The danger ratings decline if people are unable to locate the show on a regular basis. Advertisers shrink when ratings decline. Networks are alarmed when advertisers cut back. The early scheduling trials of American Idol are cited by some commentators as a warning. Viewership plummeted as Idol began to switch up its time slots. The possibility others contend that the modification might force The Voice into a more adaptable contemporary model that better suits a world that prioritizes streaming. Even supporters, however, acknowledge that this should have been explained more clearly. And the reason supporters feel deceived is precisely because of that misunderstanding. The momentum of the season, it already feels different. Fans noticed that season 28 was unique even before the scheduling frenzy. Coaches that rotate at random times, condensed live performances, abrupt modifications to the rules-reduced contestant packages, not as many behind-the-scenes videos. Chaos has now been compounded by the schedule change. According to several ardent Voice viewers, this is the first season in which they feel lost. Others worry that the play is losing the qualities that first made it unique, such as coherence, clarity, and the audience-performer bond. The talent isn't to blame. The performances are excellent. The narrative is captivating. The competitors are unforgettable. However, even the best season might lose its impact if there is no rhythm. Why supporters believe their voices aren't heard? Ironically, some are criticizing The Voice for not paying attention. Fans recall the show's early years, when producers added thefts, changed fight rounds, altered voting procedures, and created fan-friendly elements in response to public feedback. These days, a lot of people think the show is becoming less audience-driven and more corporate. NBC's decision to alter the schedule seemed to have been taken without taking into account the community that has supported the program for over 10 years. Although most fans usually return after the show stabilizes, some have even vowed to stop watching completely. The rage is genuine, though. It's also the feeling of being overlooked. Could the decision be overturned by NBC? Fans keep asking this question. And the response, ratings and the severity of the backlash determine this. NBC may discreetly return to the previous framework, or at the very least simplify it, if viewership falls precipitously during the first few hectic weeks. The network might view this as a success and carry on experimenting if ratings stay consistent. One thing is certain, though, NBC is keeping a tight eye on fan reactions. They must, because the program cannot afford to lose its core, devoted viewership, which has been there from the first season through every twist of blind audition, every coach dispute, every unexpected win, and every heartfelt finale. Future desires of fans, these are the requests based on thousands of social media comments. 1. A regular weekly routine, not a surprise. No abrupt changes. No sporadic times for episodes. 2. Unambiguous communication, early and forceful announcements are necessary. 3. Instantaneous streaming availability, access is especially necessary for viewers from other countries. 4. Greater openness, fans want to know why the change is permanent. 5. Consistency into season 29, fans argue that the network cannot replicate this disruption during such a significant chapter because the upcoming season will launch a major new structure. Although fans still adore The Voice, they won't keep quiet. The fact is that people are upset because they care, notwithstanding the commotion, because the show is important, since it is a part of their existence. The Voice is more than simply a show in many households. It's a weekly getaway, a community ritual, and a family institution. Emotions surge high when something significant changes abruptly. The franchise might not be destroyed by NBC's scheduling move, but it has definitely damaged viewer confidence. And in order to re-establish that trust, the network must acknowledge the fans, communicate effectively, and refrain from treating devoted viewers like afterthoughts. The Voice ultimately needs its fans, and they are aware of this. One thing is still true as the season goes on with its new contentious schedule. The Voice has endured for more than 10 years thanks to an ardent, devoted fan following, rather than network tactics or ratings tricks. A devoted following that will not be disregarded. A following that expects regularity. A following that sustains this franchise.